was looking some statistics one day and found out in Central America there was only one tree being planted for every 10 trees being cut.
25 years ago, we were really committed to the motto that we had learned in Peace Corps, which was working on a really grassroots level with groups, finding out what they needed and trying to meet needs. And we were called Trees, Water, and People because we wanted to plant trees. We were looking also at watersheds. Just by planting, we were not addressing the demand on the fuel. Like, so people just needed to cook, and they were just cutting down more trees than we could possibly plant, even though trees grow really fast, and we had great nurseries. We just were like, this is never going to balance out to make a difference in the climate and in the livelihood of the environment.
Pienso que fue una de las mejores decisiones que he tomado en mi vida, trabajar para Asociación Hondureña para el Desarrollo y TWP. Y créanmelo, feliz porque siento que esto me cambió la vida. Siento que esto me hizo más ser humano, porque conozco lo que es la deficiencia o la extrema pobreza que hay en nuestro país, y algo de ayuda de esta queda muy bien. La gente gasta exagerado en leña, la gente gasta bastante, aparte de la contaminación interna cuando tienen los fogones tradicionales. He podido ver personas con enfermedades terribles, crónicas, y pues mire, una señora una vez me dijo a mí, mi mamá, dice, si hubiese tenido un fogón de estos no hubiera muerto, porque mi mamá murió, dice, por enfermedad producida a causa de inhalar tanto humo.
Sí. ¿Cómo se llama? Herbert, ¿cuánto tiene de...?
We started with stoves to address deforestation, and then found that it was a great way to create jobs, a great way to improve family health, as well as a great way to reduce firewood consumption.
Tegucigalpa, como otras grandes ciudades del mundo, tiene ese problema de que se viene mucha gente del interior a la ciudad y traen ciertas costumbres obviamente son necesidades que traen, sí, de la leña, porque todavía sigue utilizando leña. Las personas inconscientes que pueden ver que se están beneficiando del agua que nace aquí y no se involucran en esto.
Es que el agua de la aldea, desde que son un caserío, alrededor de 1647, viene de acá. Entonces ya había disminuido el caudal, y gracias a todo el trabajo, bueno, todos los árboles que ustedes ven ahorita de arriba, es gracias al trabajo que ellos hicieron.
No, nosotros queremos ver un bosque pero frondoso, tupido de árboles. Aquí así eran, mire, aquí, como miran esto aquí, usted antes de aquí alcanzaba a ver por donde entraron, en ciertas partes, ¿va? Ahora no.
Estos fueron sembrados como en octubre del año pasado, octubre, agosto.
Mire, estoy aprendido, a mí me fascina.
I think one of the important lessons, especially around cook stoves, is that no benefits happen if the person doesn't like what you produced, right? So no benefit happens if the woman isn't cooking on the stove. And so I think one of the things we did right was really focus on what would be acceptable to a Honduran cook.
But you can't do development work thinking about neat concepts. You have to see what's really going to be used in the community.
Se hizo este tanque, con este logramos nosotros tener 15 metros cúbicos más de almacenamiento, los trasladamos al tanque de distribución, donde de ahí por gravedad llega a las casas.
Bueno, los cambios, obvio que es higiene, ¿verdad? Que es lo que vamos pensando, más ahora con lo del COVID, ¿verdad? Que necesitamos mucho el agua para mantener una mejor higiene. Y a la misma vez fue bien bonito porque a la hora de construirlo pudimos participar la mayoría aquí en la comunidad, jóvenes, jóvenes mujeres y jóvenes niños. La verdad que fue un proyecto bastante bonito donde participamos varias personas.
I feel like over the years we heard a lot of like, how can you scale this up? How can you do millions of these? How can you do more? Like, how you have, where are your numbers? Bigger numbers. And I think that was always something that we kind of resisted. And in the end, it wasn't numbers like how many stoves you built. It's what was the quality of the projects we were doing? How long were they lasting? How much were they affecting all the people in the community? And you can't scale that up. You just have to get to know people, see what they need, train them, have them build stoves, have them run nurseries, and it's not going to look glamorous.
Aquí tengo mi chile de jalapeño, tengo mis matas de quilete y tengo unas matas de tomate y tengo unas matas de igledo. Todas mis hierbas tengo sembrado ahí. Y luego mis matas de apazote.
A corn stalk cannot grow overnight. A baby cannot grow overnight. You have to have that growth and the time it takes to get something that is healthy and that is grown. And that's what we've learned as Pueblo people in farming and maintaining our way of life. And so when we say it's going to be hard, it's not something to be afraid of. It's something to embrace and to say, okay, I'm going to do my best.
One thing that makes Trees, Water, and People unique is our relationships with the communities that we serve and work with and the partners that we work with. We don't have Trees, Water, and People offices in the places we work. We look for local organizations that are doing the work, that are mission aligned with ours. And really it's their show, right? It doesn't matter what we want or what we think if it doesn't align with their priorities because they're closest to the challenges.
From young to old and different identities and coming together to collaborate in teamwork, like the tree planting, the cottonwood galleries, removing invasive species.
The hardship we had to do, from the hikes to all the invasive species we had to deal with, and I think it would be great for the younger generation to see what this forest was.
That's where I see the Trees, Water, and People playing an important role in getting us together.
Working for the land, the people, and for future generations. And doing that, I own a small environmental and engineering consulting company here in New Mexico, 100% woman, native, Pueblo tribal member-owned High Watermark Consulting.
So we've always wanted to figure out where the commonalities exist between our Central America work and our work on indigenous lands here in the U.S. And so we sat down and had a big work session where we tried to identify, okay, what are the main priorities that each program shares, and we came up with dignified livelihoods, environmental stewardship, gender equity and inclusion, indigenous sovereignty, and youth development. And each program demonstrates those in different ways.
Tenemos 12 años de existir como organización solo de mujeres, La organización de nosotros se llama ADECIME, que significa Asociación de Mujeres Emprendedoras. Es este logo, este es el logo de nosotros y este es todo el nombre de la organización, que es lo que significa ADECIME. Eso es lo que significa ADECIME.
When you start working in a town, there's usually one or two women who are like the leaders of the village, and we learned that in Peace Corps days, and by making friends with those women, learning from those women, that's how you can integrate in a community, and they are really in touch with the needs of the community.
Somos mujeres capaces de salir adelante, luchando por nuestra familia, por nuestros hogares, nuestros esposos también, que muchas veces nos apoyan mucho.
porque si somos mujeres organizadas, somos mujeres de trabajo, tanto en el hogar como en la comunidad, como fuera de la comunidad. Somos muy echadoras, como decimos, le echamos ganas a lo que se nos presenta en el camino. En la vida vamos viendo hacia adelante, no vemos hacia atrás, no que vemos cómo salir cada día más y más hacia adelante, luchando siempre por nuestros derechos.
I mean, at the same time, we work to build influential organizations in the places that we work, like Jenny said, have equitable funding relationships and partnerships, and also demonstrate thought leadership. So demonstrate that even though we're not academics and scientists and have those types of background, we want to be on the cutting edge of what's happening on the ground.
Esta característica importante es que esto ha ofrecido crecimiento no solamente a nivel de la institución, sino que también crecimiento a nivel de las comunidades. Hay mucha gente ya capacitada, capacitada en la cuestión de cocina, capacitada en la cuestión de producción de plantas, capacitada en la construcción de letrinas, capacitada en la cuestión de los tanques de ferrocemento. Hay una serie de capacidades que se han trasladado, las comunidades ya tienen esa capacidad de poderlos desarrollar.
So if you think about the people who first made an early investment in Trees, Water and People in 1998, that really believed in the cause, believed in the leadership, and took a chance saying, you know, what's the worst that could happen? That initial investment has really grown into really a globally influential organization with 25 years of experience, dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, of people that have been employed through Trees, Water and People working projects, and really just life improvements for tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or millions of people. And so that investment was well made in the organization. We're 25 years now and can look back and say thank you to everyone who contributed early on throughout our history and who continue to contribute today.
You know, we as humans, we're constantly taking. We never put back. But this is one way that we can put back that'll go for many years. This is going to sprout some cones, and then at a certain time of the year, they'll reseed itself, and oh heck, you got a forest. You know, 200 years later, when I'm no longer here, there'll be a forest here.
I mean, I often say about our work that there is no destination. The work is going to continue because the challenges continue, and I think the best thing that we've been able to do is transfer the relationships across the generations at the organization. And so we're still working with a lot of the same communities and people at a deeper level. Organizations have changed hands. The mission is still clear and pertinent. I mean, we have the same mission we had 25 years ago, and we're still living it every day. So, you know, the continuity, I think, is a great enduring result.
This little tree, this little baby today. So, you know, I encourage one and all to get involved. If you can't get involved to plant a tree, look for somebody that's planting trees and give them $5. Say, here you go, plant a tree. Here's another $5, you know, plant two, you know, get yourself a bottle of water, because I know you're going to be thirsty once you plant the tree. So, you know, we can do that. Would like to encourage everybody that way, and just keep on doing. Keep on doing the great things and all the things that you're doing, but always thinking of the future. When you're not here, when you're not going to be here, what did you leave? I left a little tree that turned into a forest. Thank you.